right? Very good. Okay, so let us first find out what is Swiflearn and then we will go to our topic, right? You already know what we will discuss today, Hannah? Yes. So today, like we will discuss about the soil chapter. Before going to soil, let us find out what is Swiflearn. It is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10, right? As you already know, you are already doing the classes with us. We know that you are already with us. So, what type of classes are there in Swiflearn? All the classes in Swiflearn are 100% live and interactive classes. So over here, you will be able to ask any sort of doubt you have in your mind about the topic in the class to your teacher, and the teacher explains everything in your classes. Right. Secondly, we give personalized attention to each and every student of our batches because our batches consist of maximum 6 number of students and not more than that. So it helps us to keep an eye on you also, how you are performing in your class, how you are doing in the homework, how you are solving all the question answer, how you are scoring in the school examination as well as the monthly test of Swiflearn as well as the homework. Everything is tracked and we can see, we can look after all of you. So that is why it is easier for us as well as you also, right? Thirdly, we have a dedicated academic mentor team who continuously keep a track on you, how you are progressing, how you are doing the homework, how you are sincerely doing the classes. Everything is totally tracked by our academic mentor team, and if you are lagging anywhere or you are missing something, so we give the feedback and accordingly you can improve it, right? Okay. And fourthly, what is more important is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. So whatever you have in your school examination or the board examination now, right? So you can ask to revise those chapter first. So we generally handle this type of custom request, and we do those chapter before and then we move on to the other chapters. So this type of things, classes generally we do in the Swiflearn, right? Now let us find out what are our key features. So as already you know, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every student. In this progress report, whatever you are doing in the class, how you are performing in the homework or the different test of the of Swiflearn, and how you are learning, where you are lagging and you need to improve, everything is tracked and written in the progress report which is given to you in different time intervals, and accordingly you will be able to go through it and you can improve yourself, right? Secondly, we have the Swiflearn academic test series, in short, which we call as the SATs, right? So what is SAT? Here you will be able to perform and you will be able to understand where you are standing, right, internationally. Fine. Okay. Now coming to the third thing, where you can take unlimited practice test after completing each and every topic of all the subjects. So over here you can practice all type of question answer, whether it is the objective or subjective questions. You can go through them, you can perform over there. If you are lagging anywhere, you can do the retest and you can improve yourself, right? So that there will be no less marks in your school exam as well as the board exam, and you will come to know more about the different topics, right? And fourthly, which is very important, that is there are the subjective test also for your school exams, where you will be able to write down the answer. There are a group of very good teachers in Swiflearn who will check it, and they will give you the tips how to improve the answer, where diagram is needed, where graph is needed, where something different, where you are lagging and where you need to improve more, so that you can score the full marks in your school examination as well as the board examination, right? So these are the different features we have in the Swiflearn. So to experience all these features, what you have to do, you have to book a free trial class so that you can experience all these things in Swiflearn and learn with us, right? So what you need to do now, as I already know that you have done it, that please subscribe our channel in YouTube, press on the bell icon so that you will never miss any update of the upcoming sessions. So you will get the update of all the chapters, all the topics of all the subjects in the upcoming session. So do stay with us, stay with Swiflearn, do like, comment and share with all your friends and family members. Right? Now, let us go to the topic now. Fine? So as I have already said that today's topic of discussion is soil. So we know that soil is a chapter which you have in CBSE class 7, right? So soil is a very common thing which where we are living, right? So is there any idea, anything coming to your mind, any information about the soil? So you can please write down in the chat box. Yes. Okay, so soil is the very important thing in our environment, right? We already have studied that. What are the different components of the environment? So there are mainly two different types of components we can categorize. Those are the biotic component as well as the abiotic component, right? So biotic components actually include all the living organism, whether it is the microorganism of plant or animal. Everything comes under the biotic component. And what are the abiotic components which are present in the environment and without which we will not be able to survive? They are the temperature, pressure, sunlight, water, soil, right? So these are the different things, and soil is one of the abiotic component without which we will not be able to survive at all. So let us see what soil actually is made up of and what are present within the soil. So today we will discuss mainly about the three main portion of the soil chapter, that is the importance of the soil, the composition of the soil, and the soil profile. What are the different layers which are present in the soil, and what are the different minerals which are present in the soil, how soil is so much important to us, what are the different functions which are performed by the soil. This we will discuss in today's session, right? Chalo, so let's start. So have you seen in the different region in India, in the different states, in the different region, the varieties of food are growing, right? You can see that oranges are generally grown in Nagpur, the best quality of oranges, right? And the best quality of the wheat grow in the Madhya Pradesh. You can also find out that the best quality of the rice, or we can say that the most amount of rice is actually produced in West Bengal, right? So can you say that why it is so much specific into this different region? Some crops here is best and some different crop is growing best quality in some other region. Why is it so? Yes, what is the reason for this differences in the crop in different regions or different states in India or different places over here? Not only India, we can say in the other countries also. Yes, any idea coming to your mind? Yes, because just first think about what are needed for the crops to grow. They need a particular type of temperature, the climatic condition, the weather. They need a particular type of soil also, right? So the soil is very important for the growth of the crops, and this depends on the type of soil of a particular region. So the soil is not at all same in all the different region of India or all the different region of the earth also. So it differs or it varies from one place to another, and that is why the different crops are growing in the different region, right? Now, can you tell me what is soil? Yes. What comes to your mind? What is soil? What is it made up of? Yes. Any answer? Let me see in the chat box who can give me the correct answer. Yes. Okay. So the soil is a mixture of the different minerals, the humus, the rock particles, as well as the organic materials which are present. So, organic matters can be any sort of dead and decomposed matters of the plants and animals which are decomposed by the microorganism, and they give the different minerals to the soil. Right? Humus is a very new word to you. I know. What is humus? Can you anybody tell me? Yes, what is humus? It is a new word to you, right? Actually, this humus add the dark color to the soil, right? It is the dark organic compound of the soil which is formed by the decomposition of the different materials of the plant. Okay, it can be the different leaves, it can be any portion of the plant, the dry leaves, the dry flower, the dry fruits, or we can say the twigs of the plants, right? These all together form the soil, right? Sorry. So this soil is the natural resource, we can say, which is one of the most important factor for our survival. So without soil, not a single plant or animal or microorganism will be able to stay alive on the earth's surface, right? So where is the soil actually present? It is covering all the whole surface of the earth, right? Now can you tell me what are the main function of the soil? Yes. Is there anybody in the chat box? I can see two of you are there. Can you please tell me what are the main function performed by the soil which help us to survive properly on the earth's surface? Yes, exactly. So the soil hold the plants and provide all the necessary nutrients, minerals and water to the plants, right? So we already know that the plant part, which is the root, goes deep inside the soil and they absorb the water and minerals from the soil, right? And then they go up towards the leaves and in the leaves photosynthesis takes place, which help to make the food not only for the plants, for all the living organisms including us also, right? So this is the first important function of the soil, which hold the plant in an intact position and give the water and nutrients to the plant so that the plant can grow and produce food for all the living organism on the earth, right? Secondly, can you tell me what is the another function of the soil? Yes, it provides the shelter or home for various organisms. Can you name some of the organisms who live on the soil? Yes, varieties of insects, right? Varieties of insects, worms, the different rodents, earthworm, they all are present within the soil, as well as the various microorganisms, including the bacteria, virus, like algae, okay, uh, yes, fungus, they are all present in the soil, and the bacteria and the fungus play a very important role in fixing the nitrogen within the soil so that the plant can grow in a very good fertile soil. It actually increases the fertility of the soil, right? And helps in the process of decomposition. So these are the main things which are done by the soil, and let us now move on to the next portion. What actually is present without which the soil, without the soil, what way is not at all possible? Do you think that the agriculture is possible without soil? No, agriculture actually help us to give all the different types of crops, all the food, all the clothes, which are made up of cotton, jute, and all the different other materials also, because of the soil. Because if there is no soil, there will be no agriculture, there will be no growth of the plants, and there will be no grow. We will not get the food properly, right? To meet the demand of food and clothes and other different necessary things, we should have the soil, we should protect the soil in the earth's surface, right? So soil is very much important for the agricultural purposes, right? Okay, now we have to say that there are different enemies of the soil also. What are the different enemies? We can say the polythene bags and the plastics. These are the enemies. We can say that while we are using the different types of chemicals to the soil for the growth of the plants or for killing the pests or the insects, we are using the insecticides and pesticides for that, so that we can get a great yield from the different crops, है ना? So these chemicals are also the different enemies of the soil. So what do they actually do? They kill the microorganism whatever is present within the soil. So if the microorganisms are killed, then they will not be able to decompose, right? And they will not be able to make the soil fertile. So that is bad. Yes, that is the bad effect on the soil. As well as this chemical increase the pH of the soil. That is, it make the soil very much acidic. And this that much acidic soil will not be able to give the life to the microorganisms. It will not possible for the microorganisms to live in the soil which has the pH lesser than 4.5. Understood? So these are the main enemies of the soil. So that is why we should not throw the plastic materials or the polythene bags which are non-biodegradable. We already know that plastics cannot decompose or cannot be degraded for a long period of time. So they are the different enemies of the soil, and also we should reduce the use of the different chemicals and the pesticides, the insecticides, weedicide to give it in the soil so that we can protect the soil from the soil pollution. Clear? Eh? Yes, up to this much, I guess you have got an idea what is soil. Yes, chalo. Now let us find out how soil is formed. Do you have any idea? What is the main method of formation of the soil? How it is formed on the earth's surface? It is not going here and there. Yeah, any idea? It is not on the top of the building or on top of the tree. It is just on the surface of the earth. How is it possible to form the soil? Yes, it is formed with the process of weathering. Okay, so soil is formed by the breaking down of the large rock particles by the action of the wind, water, and different climate, which help them to break down into very tiny, tiny pieces and very small, small pieces so that it will be accumulated in a particular region, and the soil is formed by this. Right? So, this process of formation of the soil is known as weathering. Fine. So if you get any question for 1 mark, what do you mean by weathering? I guess you will be able to answer it. Right? What is weathering? The soil is formed by the breaking down of the rock particles by the action of the wind, water, and climate. And this formation of the soil is known as weathering. Clear? Eh? Yes? You have got an idea how soil is formed? Yes. Now, can you tell me that have you ever seen that there are different layers of the soil? Yes, all the layers, if you just dig the soil, you will not find always very easy to dig the soil. Somewhere the soil is very moist, somewhere it is soft, somewhere it is hard, somewhere it is not at all helpful for digging also. Right? Do you know why is it? It is because of the soil composed of the various layers. Okay, so before going to the various layers, let us first perform one activity. So in this activity, what you have to do is you have to take some soil and break the clumps of the soil. Okay, with the help of your hand, you can press it and powder, make it a powder. Right now, secondly, take a glass tumbler, fill water with it, like 3/4 you can fill it with the water. Right now, put the soil within it, that handful of soil, keep it inside the water and start stirring it. Try to dissolve the soil within the water. I know that it is insoluble and it will never dissolve within the water, but try to do that. Okay, so after, you will see that the soil is totally evenly distributed within this water. Just leave it undisturbed for a certain time, like 5 to 10 minutes. You can keep this water, the jar, along with the soil undisturbed. Okay, now what will you observe? Have you any got any idea what will you observe? Yes, you will be able to see that there are various layers which are formed within the water. Can you see over here the various layers? It is distinctive layers are formed within the water. Do you know why? Because the soil is a mixture of the varieties of things, right? There are the different layers we can see of the different particles having various sizes and also various density and weight, right? So we can see over here that the dead rotting leaves as well as the microorganism, they are generally floating on the topmost portion of the water, right? Then there is a very thin layer of silt. Yes, silt is the fine clay, we can say the fine soil or the fine clay or sand. Okay, just below it we can see the sand. Okay, and the last layer, the bottom layer, we will find the very small stones which are heavier in weight, so that it has been sedimented at the bottom. Right, so over here we will be able to find out there are various layers of the soil because there are the various things which are present within the soil. So from here we can say that the soil is a mixture of different types of things having the humus, rock particles, organic materials, minerals, sand, clay, silt, and so on. Right? So they form the different layer of the soil. Now let me ask you some of the question. What is soil made up of? Yes, already I have told it twice or thrice. Yes. Can you tell me what is soil made up of? It is made up of the mixture of like the minerals, the humus, the rock particles, the organic materials. Okay, together they form the soil. Fine. Now, can you tell me what is weathering? Anybody in the chat box? Let me see who can give me the correct answer first. Yes, the weathering is the process of formation of the soil, right? So over here what happens? It breaks down the large rocks into smaller particles and they help in the formation of the soil on the earth's surface. And this process is known as weathering. Clear? Yes? Have you got an idea what is how soil is formed? What are the different layers which are mainly present or how they are layered in the soil and what is weathering? Yeah? Now let us move on to the different composition of the soil and the layers of the soil. Fine. As I have already mentioned that the humus is a new word to you which is mainly present within the soil. So what is the humus? Humus is the dark organic materials formed in the soil from the rotting dead matters. Okay, so this dead matters can be the very dry leaves or twigs, or it can be the dead materials of the plants or the animals. Fine. So they together are mixed with the soil and give a dark color to the soil. And when it is giving the dark color to the soil, it is also providing certain nutrients to the soil, right? These are the organic substances which provide the soil with various types of minerals, and it helps to increase the fertility of the soil so that we can grow a lot of crops on this soil. Clear? Eh? So humus is necessary for the soil, right? So more humus means more fertile soil. Okay, will you be able to understand? Will you be able to remember it? Yes. Okay, now let us find out what are the different layers of the soil. So when we will see this, can you see this image over here, the vertical cross section of the different layer of the soil? This vertical cross section of the different layers of the soil is known as the soil profile. So together this is known as the soil profile, and each of the layer is known as the horizon. Okay, so this is the topmost layer, we can say this is the horizon A. Just below it is the B horizon. Just below the B horizon is the C horizon. And the last one, which is very much rocky, it is known as the bedrock. Okay, so if you just dig the soil for a long, like deeply, you will be able to find all these layers one after another coming. Okay, so let us find out what generally are present in the A horizon to B horizon, C horizon, and the bedrock. So as you can see from here that the A horizon actually has the organic layer where the various types of crops are growing, all the plants are growing in the topmost layer, right? It is also known as the topsoil. Fine. Just below it, the B horizon is known as the subsoil, which mainly contain the clay and the mineral deposit. Not that much humus is present over there, right? But the hard roots grow till the B horizon. Fine. Now coming to the C horizon, it is the parent material. We can say that it actually is made up of the different crevices and the different rocks, right? And the last horizon is the bedrock, which is very hard to dig because it is totally made up of the hard rock. Fine. Let us find out what are present, what are the texture, the composition, as well as the depth and the chemical composition which are present in the different layers. So each and every layer will differ in all these factors. Fine. Now coming with the A horizon. So as you already know that what is the A horizon, it is the topmost layer, right? So the topmost soil is known as the A horizon. So in the topmost layer, what will be present? Maximum amount of humus will be present. Yes, the maximum amount of humus due to the decomposition of the dead materials, the dead plants and animals. Yes, so the humus will be present in the uppermost layer, the topsoil, as well as it will help the plants to grow over here, right? It will give them, it act as a most productivity. Yes, the most productive layer of the soil, so it will be fertile and rich in nutrient. All the different nutrients and minerals will be present in this topmost layer, right? It is dark in color. Why it is dark in color? Because of the presence of the humus. Yes, they give the shelter for all the different living organisms also, may it be the microorganism as well as the rodents, the earthworm, as well as the different small insects which live in this topmost layer of the soil. So we can see over here this topmost layer of the soil is very important for the growth of the plants as well as for the shelter of the animals, right? Let's move on to the next level. So just below the A horizon lies the B horizon. Okay, so what is it actually composed of? That much humus is actually not present in this B horizon, but it is more rich in minerals. So the B horizon of the soil is rich in the different minerals, like you can say the iron, the oxides of aluminium, the calcium carbonate. These are the different minerals which are present in the B horizon, as well as clay is present in this B horizon. It is not that much soft, but not that much hard also, and it is also known as the middle layer, as well as it is known as the subsoil. Fine. Now let's move on to the C horizon. So the C horizon is the layer just below the B horizon. It is made up of the small lumps of the rocks and the crevices. So we can break this type of rocks and the crevices. So that is not that much hard that it will be very much difficult to dig that layer. Fine. So this is the C horizon. And at the last, the bottom layer is the bedrock, which lies just below the sea horizon. It is hard and difficult to dig with a spade because it is totally made up of the hard rocks, right? So these are the four main layers of the soil which totally make up the soil profile. Yes, up to this much clear, I guess. If you have any question, any doubt, you can please write it in the chat box. I'll solve all your doubts. Chalo. Now let us find out what other capacities or abilities which are having within the soil, right? So before going to the composition, let us find out with the help of an activity. So you take a glass of water and spill it on the tile, and take similar amount of water and pour it in the pot of a pot having a soil and a small plant, right? A flower pot we can say. Fine. So what will you observe after some time? Yes. What will you observe? What will happen to the water in both the cases? Anybody, can you tell me? Yes, you will see that the water which you are just pouring on the tiles or the ground, it will remain same, right? But the water you have poured within the flower pot, it has been disappeared. Why? Do you know why it is disappeared? Yes, because it is totally absorbed by the soil. So over here we can see that ability of the soil, that the soil can absorb the water, right? So that is why the water is totally absorbed by the soil. Yes, so from the water which is given to the soil, it is absorbed by the soil, and from the soil, whenever there is any plant, the roots of the plant will absorb that water. So the water is also present within the soil, which make the soil moist. Okay, so we can find this type of soil at the topmost layer where water is supplied, and we can see that, we can feel that soil. If you take it in your hand, you will feel that it is moist or wet soil which is present in that region. Okay, so this is the moisture in soil, that is the amount of water which is present within the soil, which make the soil moist or wet. Fine. So other than this minerals, humus, rock particles and organic materials, what is also present in the soil? Water. Yes. Do you know what another thing is also very much important for the soil? That is the air, because whatever microorganisms or the different earthworms which are present in the soil, they also have to breathe, है ना? As well as the root of the plants also have to breathe. So the air content must be also present within the soil. So the oxygen must be also present within the soil for the breathing of all the different plants and animals. Clear? Eh? So I guess you have already, you can ask me in the chat box today's session, right? So now tell me what it should contain the water and the air, right? Okay. Now let us move on to the, yes. Soil is formed by the process of weathering. So what is weathering? It is the breaking down into tiny small particles. Coming to the third question, dash is hard and difficult to dig. Which layer of the soil is very much difficult to dig with a spade? It is the bedrock, right? Very good. Coming to the last one, dash is the topmost layer of the soil. It is the A horizon, right? So it is the most productive. All the answers are correct or not? All are correct, right? Okay, thank you for staying with us. Coming to the